My name is Allison Killen. I'm the Director of Civic Art at Houston Arts Alliance. On the call, I have three of our Civic Art team members, Chelsea Benoit, Matthew Pez, and Xavier Lopez. They'll be helping prompt questions and make sure that all the information is getting out during this call. And this meeting is being recorded, and so if you miss anything, we'll be posting it online for you all to access it later. And thank you for joining. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. I'm going to do a little bit of talking here in the beginning, and then we'll have questions at the end. All right. So today I'm going to be talking to you all about the Houston Airport's Southwest Airlines West Concourse expansion at William P. Hobby Airport call for portable works. We call them portable works because they are portable, they're movable. It's artwork hung on the wall or mounted on a pedestal, 3-dimensional, 2-dimensional, portable. A little bit about Houston Arts Alliance Civic Art Division. HAA is an independent nonprofit that strengthens Houston's creative ecosystem through programs supported by private, philanthropic, and public partners. As Houston's local arts agency, we partner with the City of Houston on key public programs while also delivering privately and philanthropically supported initiatives that serve the broader creative ecosystem. This includes administering arts grants, commissioning and caring for public art, leading cultural planning, and supporting resilience and recovery that strengthen Houston's creative community. HAA is not a policymaker, nor do we make subjective funding decisions. We administer, support, and amplify, ensuring that public and private funds are distributed through fair, transparent processes guided by community panels and strategic oversight. All of our work shares a single purpose: to ensure that creativity in Houston is resourced, resilient, and reflective of the community it serves, the community being all of you. So thank you for joining us tonight. I also have on the call Alton Delaney from Houston Airports. I will turn it over to him to give a little bit more information about the role of Houston Airports in this opportunity. Alton? Is he on? I saw him on just a second ago.
I think he's joining right now.
Okay.
You're talking about
I was talking about you. Okay, I was about to skip over and just do your part for you.
Sorry. Yeah, I got disconnected for some reason, but now I'm back. Hi everyone, I'm Alton, the curator at the airport. Super excited about this. The airport's very excited. This is a partnership with our stakeholder, our main tenant at Hobby Airport, which is Southwest Airlines, 6 new gates. It's a big, exciting project. We have 9 site-specific commissions, and we have this opportunity for portable works, which will be mainly focused in the area which Allison will show you. In the baggage carousel, we've got some built-in vitrines, but there is also an opportunity that could be in other areas throughout this new expansion and over at Hobby Airport. Just a reminder, Hobby Airport is one of the only 5-star airport in North America and just made 5-star for the 5th year in a row. And so it's really rated as one of the top airports in the country. And our art program is currently rated the best airport art program in the world for a 4th year in a row. So for any of you coming into this collection, it's a great collection to be a part of. And we can't wait to see all of your submissions. Thank you, Allison.
Thank you, Alton. As he mentioned, this is part of the new West Concourse expansion. This is a partnership with Southwest Airlines, Houston Airports, and HAA, so we are excited to be talking about this opportunity. The location for this in particular is near the baggage claim area, so it's on a passenger corridor as passengers make their way from their gates to the baggage claim and out to the exits. This main corridor has 2 art display cases. They are encased in glass, and so you'll see this protective layer here. Enclosing those cases, each of them is a 4 by 8 foot opening, allowing artwork to accommodate a variety of sizes and scales. The inspiration is Space City with an adjacent celestial designed feature in the baggage claim wall, and then an exterior passenger canopy. And this opportunity has a total budget of $215,000 for a variety of artwork acquisitions, ideally. As also mentioned, this is portable work, and so we do ask that all of the artwork is installation ready in the event that it does move around the airport from time to time. So it might be selected for inclusion in this case, but the airport does sometimes move pieces around, and so there is the possibility that it will be relocated, and so we ask that it's protected and available for passenger display wherever it might be situated. We are accepting both two-dimensional and three-dimensional submissions. For two-dimensional artwork that is wall-mounted, we ask that the artwork does not exceed a height of 40 inches or a width of 72 inches, just so that when it is placed in these art display cabinets, it's able to accommodate and be situated next to other pieces of artwork. For three-dimensional artwork, they can be wall-mounted or mounted onto a pedestal, stand, shelf, or other display feature, even suspended. We ask that it doesn't exceed a height of 40 inches or a depth of 24 inches, so that again, it can accommodate other pieces around it. And that depth of 24 inches is the depth of the vitrine, and so we ask that you do not exceed that. It won't be able to fit within the opportunity. All of the artwork, two-dimensional or three-dimensional, will need to be framed, inclusive of any hardware when it's delivered, and installation ready upon submission. Panelists will be looking at, is it framed? Does it have glazing? Is it protected against graffiti if it is situated in the public in the future? And if it has any special installation instructions with those included, panelists will be considering that. And there are additional site plans and images on the website that you all can review. These images that you're seeing are pulled directly from that. Here's another elevation of those display cases. You can see them side by side, this one on the left and then the other on the right, featuring that artwork opportunity. So artwork should be installed, installation ready and completed before December 31st, 2025. We ask this date for a reason, and it's to ensure that all of the artwork is in fact framed, ready for delivery, completed. We don't want any artworks that are incomplete or require additional steps. We are asking panelists to evaluate all of the submissions equally, so they all need to be display ready, installation ready, completed. They must meet or exceed City of Houston ADA requirements. They must be family friendly, suitable for public display, and free of safety hazards. They should be resistant to graffiti and vandalism and require minimal maintenance. Have an expected lifespan of at least 20 years, so please use archival materials, archival glazing. We ask that all glazing is not glass, it is plexi, so that it's not breakable if it is situated in a public environment. And the artwork should make a significant artistic addition to the City of Houston Civic Art Collection. Who is eligible to apply for this opportunity? This artwork opportunity is open to all Texas artists and Texas galleries representing Texas artists. We ask that everyone, all artwork and artists are over 18 years of age, are not able to work at the required scale, have ability to accomplish this by the deadline being artwork is submitted and completed. And we define Texas-based as born in the state of Texas or currently residing within the state of Texas. When you complete your submission, it will ask you some questions and give you some examples of eligibility documents to verify that you do meet these eligibility requirements. For galleries submitting on behalf of artists, we ask that your gallery is based here in Texas and the artist you are submitting the artwork on behalf of is also either Texas-based or born in Texas. And again, all of the artwork that is submitted needs to be completed by December 31st, 2025. For galleries submitting applications for more than one artist, and this goes for everyone, each artwork should have its own individual application, and each application should be an individual artist. If there are multiple artists or multiple artworks included on the same application, it will be marked ineligible. Those who are not eligible to apply are artists that are currently under contract for a City of Houston Civic Art project, any City of Houston employees, elected city officials, Mayor's Office of the Arts, relatives and their immediate family, Houston Arts Alliance employees, board members, advisory board members, and their immediate family, and then any applications that do not meet all of the eligibility criteria or application requirements will be withdrawn from consideration. The application requirements. Again, I want to emphasize that each submission is one artwork by one artist. Artists can submit 3 times, so 3 separate artworks, but that's 3 separate applications. Each application, one artwork. Each application should include an artist's resume, the artist's biography, an artist statement describing your practice, your artwork, and giving context to the panelists about how your artwork has come to be, any conceptual or process ideas that are included and reflected in that work, and then of course digital images of the artwork. You can submit 3 images and or 1 video. Actually, sorry, 3 images or 1 video and 2 images, 3 visual submissions total, so that the artwork can be viewed on a video 3-dimensionally, but also in an image format. And all of your images need to include the artist's name, title, your completed artwork dimensions, the material, and the price. All of the submission requirements are listed on Submittable. All applications must be submitted on Submittable. If you email them, fax them, deliver them, or send them by a carrier pigeon, we're not going to be able to have the panelists score them. And so only applications submitted on Submittable will be considered. To submit on Submittable, if you haven't done it before, you will have to create an account. And the link is here. There's a QR code. We'll drop it in the chat. You'll be able to access it a variety of ways. And if you have any questions, we're here to help you with your submission. The selection process. I've mentioned the panelists a number of times. We'll have a 5-person selection panel composed of arts representatives, community representatives, and Houston Airport's representatives that will be reviewing all of these submissions and selecting and recommending artwork for purchase. The panelists will consider the following: artistic quality, a unique voice, perspective, or inspiration reflected in the artwork. If the artwork is demonstrative of an aesthetic, material, and subject matter that is suitable for public display to a diverse and international audience, so reflecting imagery that is appropriate for display in the airport. And a contribution of new artistic voices and perspectives to the City of Houston art collection. We will be marking any artists that are included in the Civic Art Collection, just tagging that application. And so panelists will have that information available. It's not a disqualifier, it's just another piece of information that will be included as they review submissions. And we ask that the artworks also respond to the Space City theme and themes around Houston broadly. Contracting, you'll be placed under contract with the Houston Arts Alliance, and it was established in 1999. The Houston Civic Art is a City of Houston Mayor's Office of the Arts Program. We're under contract with them to manage projects such as this one. Selected artists and galleries will enter into a purchase agreement with HAA, and you'll also be required to sign a Visual Artists' Rights Act, a VAR waiver with the City of Houston. You can view a sample of that waiver on our website. Lastly, project timeline. I think this is the last slide. So we're on our second artist info session today, Tuesday, May 19th. These will be recorded and posted online for you to access later. If you have any questions about this opportunity, the deadline for those questions is Friday, May 22nd. We will be posting a FAQ document about this call specifically on the website as well. The submission deadline is Monday, June 1st, 2026 at 11:59 p.m. We are expecting our selection panel to meet in July of 2026 and hope to have notifications out to artists and galleries by August 2026. We are expecting artwork delivery to be following that August announcement, and then we're expecting deliveries in September. If you have any questions, please let us know either in the chat today, on this call, or direct them to civicart@haatx.com. Any formal questions need to be submitted in writing by Friday, May 22nd at 5 o'clock, and questions will be answered as they are received or within about 1 to 2 business days.
Are we allowed to ask questions right now?
Not yet. We're finishing up.
Sorry, I know there's probably a lot of questions. More information, you can sign up for our newsletter, follow us on social media to learn more about any upcoming opportunities as well. And I'll pause there. I just did a lot of talking. Who's got questions? Alton, did
Can
I
I
miss
continue?
anything before we jump into that?
I think that was good,
Uh,
Allison. I don't know if people use carrier pigeons anymore, but I appreciate you clarifying that for everyone.
Thank you.
I was seeing some questions pop up in the chat. Maybe if Chelsea or Marty would go through those questions and answer those. I think because a lot of them were repeat questions, and I think that would answer a lot of the questions that maybe we have, and then we'll get to anyone that didn't get the question there, if that's okay with you.
Let's start off. There's a lot of confusion around the date of completion for the artwork. Allison, Alton, could y'all provide a little bit of extra color there? No pun intended.
Yes, so we ask that any artwork submitted has been completed before December 31st, 2025. The reason for this is to ensure that your artwork is in fact display ready, so it needs to be completed. No proposals will be considered, no unframed artwork, no artwork that requires additional installation accommodations or steps beyond that. And so that's why we ask that December 31st is the cutoff. There just has to be a hard cutoff, and that ensures that panelists are reviewing submissions that are consistent across the board.
This is a purchase of existing portable work. So like Allison said, we don't want to commission, we don't want a concept. We want work that you already have that is available. And the reason is because we have a very ambitious timeline on this, so we don't really have any room for any delays. Or if we chose your work, oh, but I'm not finished and now I need to get it framed and I need to do this and I need to do that. We want work that's already finished and ready to go.
I don't mean to seem jumpy. It's 1 a.m. for me here, so I was wondering if I could ask a few questions that I think could be important for everybody else too.
Sure. I'll take the question.
First off, I think everybody's got confused on the date because you keep saying 2025 and we're in 2026. I think the dates are jumped up a year.
We just now answered that question that it is
And
the deadline is this
yeah,
December 2025. Yes.
oh, it's just for anybody else asking that. But also, I'm representing a client here in Paris. He's born in Texas. I'm born in Texas. We both live in Paris. I'm not a gallery. I'm an individual. I'm hoping that's okay. But often he has his canvases unstretched. It's easier for shipping. So I don't know. Does the foundation cover shipping and as well as the anti-graffiti? Because you talk about it has to be resistant to graffiti, but are we supposed to build our own plexiglass kind of what's the word
Of frames and
protection?
encasing, yes. So all of the artwork, again, it does need to have been completed prior to today. It needs to be framed or stretched or display ready, so coated in an anti-graffiti varnish, glazing, something protective on that outer layer. So if someone walks up to your canvas, your beautiful painting, they can't draw a marker on it, a kid walking down the wall with a marker. We don't want any of that. It needs to be completed and protected. And so we do ask that the artwork is available to be shipped and delivered. We understand this is a call for Texas-wide, Texas artists, and that may mean shipping and delivery, and all of that needs to be included in your purchase price.
Oh, I'm sorry, purchase price? I thought there's the funding to buy this art, and is that not included in the shipping of the handling of the art and the protecting of it?
Not shipping long distance, not at all. No shipping. Needs
No
all
shipping.
of the
Or
artwork.
just need to
The
be
purchase price
delivered.
needs to be inclusive of installation ready, delivery ready artwork. Do we have
Is
some other
is the
questions
is
in
the
the chat?
focus more local art or is it eh, yeah, I guess that's the last question I have, and if it's okay, individual submissions.
Yes, each individual is allowed up to 3 different artwork submissions, but each submission has to be its own unique artwork. So if it's submission 1, artwork 1, submission 2, artwork 2, no more than 3 artworks per artist.
Basically, you're going to be filling out, if you have 3 artworks to submit, you're going to be filling out 3 separate applications, one for each artwork. Each of the applications can have multiple photos of the same artwork, so different perspectives of it, so different angles, detail shots, but they have to be of that same artwork.
If you have any other questions, Adrian,
Yeah,
please get with
I
one
have a
of our team
question.
members. Yes.
Yeah, the question is, if you have a three-dimensional piece, it will be behind plexiglass, or do you have it in the window case already?
Alton, do you want to
Yes,
respond?
if it's three-dimensional, we will put it inside of a vitrine. It will either go in this new case behind glass, or it will go in another plexiglass vitrine. So sculpture
Yeah,
excluded to this rule.
thank you.
Two-dimensional works need to be protected. I saw someone ask in the chat, Chelsea, and sorry to jump in here, about if it's an oil painting, does oil painting need to be below glazing? It does not, but it should be varnished with a protective varnish on it to protect it. Many of you are local, you've been in the airport, you do see we have paintings hanging in the airport that are unglazed canvas, but it needs to be protected. If the work is particularly fragile, like if the painting contains collage or if it's an encaustic painting, something like this, I would definitely say that needs to be behind protective glazing. But an oil painting with the proper hardware that can hang on the wall could be displayed as is, as we do have those already in the airport. And I think that was asked a couple times in the chat.
Alton, yes. Right now, the only types of works we're requiring to be framed are photographic works and works on paper. We do, like as Alton mentioned, we do ask that you consider the protection and longevity of your piece. So if your piece is originally unframed, but it might need to be framed, we ask that you just go ahead and do that prior to submission.
Yes, thank you.
Aaron, and then Victor.
Thank you so much. Actually, I had 2 questions. Is there a total number of pieces that you're expecting to acquire for this, for the whole project? And living in Houston, Space City, I mean, I know what that means, but what does that mean? Can you elaborate a little bit on the theme?
Can I answer both of those questions, Allison?
Go for it.
So, Aaron, the way we do it, we have the budget, which is 210, 215, something like that. It's a bucket of money. Then all of the submissions that we receive that are eligible are scored by our panelists. The highest scored piece is purchased. If that piece is $215,000, then we're only buying one piece of art.
Okay.
But if that piece is $10,000, we take the 10,000 out of the bucket, we purchase it, and then we go to the second highest scored and keep doing that until the bucket is empty.
That's kind of what I was expecting. Yeah.
Yeah. And typically, I mean, I think we would safely anticipate to buy, 20 or so pieces with a budget this size based on previous calls, but it just really depends on what the panelists score as the highest amount. The theme of this particular area in the terminal is we're using Space City. What we're really looking for the airport, though, is sense of place. What makes Houston, Houston? We do have NASA. We do have all the exploration into space, that kind of thing. And this area is really emphasizing that with some of the decor. We have illuminated wall panels built in. We have digital screens built in that will be kind of highlighting this kind of stuff. So that was the thing we went with. But that doesn't mean that it has to literally be paintings of astronauts. It could be abstract work. It could be sculptural work. It could be any number of things. And then a little bit bigger than Space City, what is Houston? What we really want is for our passengers to know when they land at Houston airports that they're in Houston. About 50% of our passengers are connecting passengers, which means they never leave the airport, which means their only opportunity to see the dynamic culture that Houston has to offer is through what we offer them in the airport.
It's a cultural thing with Houston culture is what we're looking for.
Yes, sir. That's correct.
Okay. That helps. Thank you.
All right, we're going to do Victor and then Amy, and then I'm going to ask for a pause on individual questions so we can get through the questions in the chat, and that might answer any other questions that y'all may have. And then we'll open the floor back up to individuals again.
Thank you, Chelsea. Can you hear me well?
Yes.
Okay. I believe at the beginning you mentioned that there were 3 locations. There are these glass enclosed cases, but then I believe there were 3, and I want you to clarify what those were. You said something about a canopy as well, different, mural plus encased work. Could you just outline that again so I can understand that better?
Yes, let me share my screen for you. It's 2 locations enclosed in a vitrine. And so if you're able to see my screen here, uh, hold on. Okay, right here on the left, if you can see my screen, there's 2 enclosed glass vitrines, which is the primary siding for this opportunity. I'll show you a different view. This is what they look like from the side. And so they
I
are
see a detailed
3-dimensional.
view.
And then the elevation. So there's 2 opportunities, one here and one here. They are 4 feet tall by 8 feet wide.
And Victor, what I mentioned, which may have caused confusion, is that occasionally we curate these outside of these cases. If they happen to go with another display that's already in the airport, we would likely put it with that. So for the purpose of this call, keep these dimensions in mind that Allison is providing, because those are kind of the guiding sizes and dimensions overall. But just know that your work, and like Allison said too, it's portable work. So it may go in here for 6 months and then we may move it. But for the purpose of this call, consider these 2 built-in vitrines and the dimensions that are provided, and your work should fit into that.
Okay, that answers my question. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, Victor. Amy, you're up.
Thanks so much. Can you all hear me okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Yeah.
For sculptural work, does it also need to be graffiti protected? And you mentioned a pedestal. Is it required to have a pedestal, or is that just if we have a preference for that?
No, you do not. If you have a preference, or if it has a specialty type of pedestal or platform or armature that it needs to be displayed on, you have to provide that. And again, as we mentioned earlier, sculptural work is the small sculpture work is always displayed under glass.
Okay.
So we provide the protection for that.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. And then for photography, since that needs to be framed, and I guess any artwork that needs to be framed, when we're submitting, does that need to be the photography of that? Does that need to include the framing as it will be on display in the airport, or is that clear? Do we need to have a picture of it in its current frame as it will be shown in the airport?
Yes, it would be great for us to see it in its in the frame so we'll know what we're getting. But if you need to, sometimes you might need to take it out of the frame to get a good shot of the actual artwork. That's allowed too, but we do want to see the framing that it will be displayed in. We want to see the final product that we're buying.
Awesome. Thank you.
And as a note, if the work is going to be framed, please note that in the application. All right, y'all. So I'm going to go through some questions in the chat, and then if there are any additional questions from the group, then we'll open the floor, okay? All right, so we have a question that says, what kind of backing do you prefer for works on canvas? I know no wire or cloth.
D-rings are preferred, or if it's something that requires a cleat, then we ask that you provide the cleat that goes with it. D-rings are preferred, no wire, and it doesn't need a dust cover on the back necessarily unless that's how you present your work. Stretched canvases don't need to be additional frame, again, unless it's a sensitive material or unless you prefer it in a frame. And if so, please include that as well as an image of it.
Perfect. Okay, and just to reiterate, if you have 3 artworks that you would like to submit, each of those artworks is going to go in its own application. Within each of those applications, you can submit multiple photos of that same artwork. Okay, but it can't be 3 different three different photos of three different pieces of art in one application. Okay. Will the two wall cases be filled with multiple artworks by different artists?
Yes, most likely. Yes.
Okay. Are there specific requirements for the frames as far as materials?
Frames need to be durable, long-lasting, archival, so they need to withstand the test of time. And as Alton mentioned, they may rotate out of these cases from time to time, and so they really need to be able to be displayed in a context within the airport overall, not just within a display case behind glass. So nothing, a balsa wood frame or something that's going to get scratched, dented, cut up. We want something archival, professional that stands the test of time.
And nothing with sharp, rusty, jagged edges. And that sounds funny, but we have got stuff like that before. So it needs to be airport friendly.
I might need to get some clarification from the person who asked this question about this, but are the adjacent celestial designs available to see? Michael Guidry, do you mind clarifying that question for us?
Sure. You mentioned that next to these cases are celestial designs that are part of the decor of the area. I just want to know if they're available to see.
Yes, I will share my screen. I thought I had included an image of them in the PowerPoint, but my apologies. Let me see if I can pull up the right image. One moment.
Well,
Alice, like just the other day.
You're good. While Allison is pulling that up, I'm going to go through the other questions. Will gallery wrap paintings be accepted without a frame?
Yes.
All right. Is glass protection for a framed artwork permitted?
Shatterproof. It has to be shatterproof, so it needs to be acrylic. If that's the question.
If it's painted in acrylic, then it doesn't need the varnish. Is that true?
Does it have a protective layer over it? If it's acrylic,
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah.
Then it would not need another layer of varnish over it. If it has something that can be easily maintained on the surface for the long lasting display, then it's fine.
All right. We do ask that if you have any further questions, and we're not done yet, but I just see someone asking about possibly meeting. Please reach out to Civic Art, CIV as in Victor, ICART at HAAT as in Tom, X as in X-ray.com with additional questions after we're done with today, right? Let's see.
And I dropped 2 images of that like celestial inspiration in the chat so you can see some additional imagery of what that looks like.
But to answer the question, Mike, it's kind of like a starry night kind of feeling. So behind the baggage, there's a wall, like a metallic wall that has embedded LED lights, so it kind of gives a twinkling star-like feeling. And then the canopy Allison mentioned earlier that leads out to the garage, it also has that feeling. So starry, starry night.
See my screen. It's this canopy and then this feature wall.
Can you go back to the canopy, Allison? It clicked off as soon as you. Perfect.
Do you mind showing the vitrines again, Allison?
Not at all. Here we go.
There you go. So I know someone was asking what was across from the vitrines, and it's just a blank wall.
Mm-hmm.
And there is a digital wall at the end of this that's going to say like, welcome to Houston, and probably have some Houston themed imagery behind it. And that's what you can see in this drawing.
All right, Victor, I see your hand again. Give me a couple minutes to go through these questions. We're almost done, and then I'll open up the floor. I have
Thank you.
someone asking about diptychs and triptychs. Do they count as one artwork or multiple? They count as one.
They count as one. That's right. And even if your artwork has multiple components, even beyond a triptych, if it has several different elements to it that compose one artwork, that is one artwork. We just need to see an overall image that represents its one artwork.
I have someone asking whether framing is going to be a part of the evaluation. If eventually the framing needs to be changed, does that disqualify the artwork?
We do ask that the artwork is framed, exhibition ready. Panelists will be considering the artwork, so if it does require a frame, or if it's a work on paper, photography, something that would need to be behind glass for it to be displayed, panelists will be considering that as a scoring criteria. And so we do ask that images of the frame are submitted with the artwork, and that the artwork you submit is what is delivered by the end of the call if it is selected. And so we ask that you don't make significant framing changes or anything like that after the submission process.
All right, just make sure that the framing that you're using is the best suitable framing for the type of work that you're submitting. If going down the line 10, 20 years later, the frame becomes damaged or needs a little bit of maintenance, then that's going to be a separate issue that the airport will handle separately. Will you consider silent video art?
I would say yes, as long as any display materials such as a screen and electronics and things like that are clearly included in your submission. So if it needs a screen, a device to be able to play that video, it is included with your submission and included in the purchase price listed.
All right. We just have another clarifying question around the eligibility date of the artwork. So what about works completed in January 2026 and are fully ready to hang? Would those be eligible?
Unfortunately, not for this opportunity. There does have to be a cutoff. It's how we're going to maintain consistency and just make sure that everything delivered is ready to go, ready for display. We are working on a tight turnaround. However, we do have additional opportunities all the time. Please continue to follow us, make sure that you're staying on top of this, and submit in the future.
We also ask that if outside of framing, if your artwork requires any kind of protective varnish or glazing, we need to have that. That needed to have been done prior to the end of December 2025 in order for the artwork to be considered eligible.
Mm-hmm.
I have someone saying, how do you guys feel about custom LED backed lights as far as the maintenance is concerned?
That's a good question. Alton, how do you feel about LED lights? I think as long as it's durable and can withstand a 20-year lifespan and has clear maintenance instructions on how those lights are programmed, maintained, and accessed, whether it's a panel behind the artwork or however it is installed, we need that information. Panelists need to be able to review that information.
That's right, Allison. We just need that, and I think some of these contemporary digital components have a 20-year lifespan. And to clarify that, this question was asked in the previous session. Both cases do have electrical access, so illuminated pieces will be considered neon, digital, video, that kind of stuff, as long as they're durable, like Allison said.
Yes. All right, we're almost done with these chat questions. Thank y'all for your patience. We have a question about installation. Can an artist's personal team install the artwork, or will that be installed by the team at the airport?
Installation will be handled by the airport. All artwork will be delivered to a central location located within Houston. accepted artworks will be notified of where that delivery point is, and then the airports will be handling installation separately.
With professional installers.
Yes.
The 2D art size maximum is 40 inches, less than 2 feet, correct?
Two-dimensional artwork dimensions should not exceed a height of 40 inches and a width of 72 inches. That's just so it fits within the vitrine and can fit alongside other artworks in that space.
We also don't have a size minimum for this call.
That's right.
Is there a date minimum, like does it need to be done in the last certain number of years?
There's no minimum date. It's just the
Okay.
most recent has to be before December 31st, 2025.
Yeah, anytime before that, could be 10 years, 20.
Mhm.
Okay, thanks.
Okay. When can we start submitting our pieces? Right now, the call is open until June 1st, 11:59 p.m. We ask that you complete your applications through Submittable.
And don't wait until 11:58. There's always going to be a technical issue. Your internet's going to crash, your cat's going to spill water on your computer, and you're not going to get your submission in time, and then the panelists will not be able to review it. Please get your submissions in ahead of that deadline.
All right, so we need to include a TV if we submit video work.
However, that video work needs to be displayed, needs to be included with your submission and included with the submission price.
Okay, and this is going to be the final chat question before I open the floor up to individuals. Do the artworks submitted need to be originals?
Yes, absolutely. All artwork needs to be submitted from the artist or by the gallery representing the artist. No reproductions, no prints, no unoriginal artwork, please.
All right, so I'm going to switch the order this time. Victor, you're first, and Aaron, you're going to go after.
Thank you, Chelsea. It was mentioned that the artworks need to be ADA compliant, and I would assume because it's at the airport that it's going to be hung in a manner and in a position such that it's viewable by those with disabilities and mobility devices, et cetera. But is there anything further to that ADA compliance aspect of the artworks?
Especially for three-dimensional work, and also you can probably add more to this, but if it were to be located and potentially moved outside of these display cases, it would need to be ADA compliant so that no one is, it's not presenting a tripping hazard or blocking the path, unable to be viewed in that manner. Also, maybe you can add more context.
Well, I would just say, Allison, if it is 3D, it's going to stand behind glass or in a case. But if it's 2D, Victor, a 2D, something hanging on the wall cannot project more than 4 inches from the wall. So it has a 4-inch depth. And if
Okay, got that.
Yeah, and if it's sculptural in this case, Allison, we will just keep it under glass. You're right, if it were a bigger piece, but because it can be under glass, we'll keep it under glass.
And the
Just
size
one more thing, and
requirements.
thank you for that answer. You mentioned. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. You can finish your question.
It was mentioned that D rings are okay, but y'all don't prefer there to be a wire connecting the two for hanging purposes?
No, we don't use wire at the airport. No wire hangers.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Thank you, Victor.
Anybody? That was a good joke. Did anyone get it? Okay.
Sorry, y'all. Aaron, it's your turn.
Yeah, I just had a question. I'm not even sure how to phrase it, but is there any plans for promotion exposure or some kind of a PR thing that tells people that say, hey, we've got a new collection going, come take a look? Any plans for anything outside once it's completed?
That will be up to the
Alton?
airport's communication team, and I don't know the plan for that
Okay.
at the moment. But I will say that your work will be on display for literally millions of passengers to see every year, thousands and thousands every day. And in this particular case, this is the main exit hall. So every passenger that exits a flight and goes to baggage will pass by this at Hobby Airport.
In addition, your work will be included as part of the city's civic art collection and therefore have the opportunity to be featured on our brand new civic art website. So there will be eyes on it from multiple perspectives.
Yes.
That's what I was kind of getting at. Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you, Erin. All right, I don't have any other questions in the chat. Does anybody else have any additional questions that they would like to ask that hasn't been addressed yet?
I came in late, so I missed out on half hour of the call. But my question to you guys is, what's the concept? What's the concept? What is the like? What is the main theme of what our artwork need to be?
We ask that this artwork for this call is completed and responds to themes around Space City and themes around Houston culture largely. It will be located within the airport and exhibited to an international audience. And so something that really tells the story of Houston and Space City thematically.
And it does not have to be astronauts, does not have to have anything to do with slab culture if that's not what you're drawn to creating. If it is, go for it. But definitely Houston culture, whatever makes Houston Houston. I see one question here in the chat, and then Tilly, I'm going to get to you in a moment. I have small works that have a one inch square hole in the back. They have no D-rings because they fit on one nail or hook. Do they qualify? These small works have never needed a wire to hang.
It's hard to answer that question without seeing an image of the artwork, but I will ask that you not submit the image in the chat. If you have a question, you can email us, but I would say just include any installation instructions required for your artwork in the submission. So if there are special instructions like you're stating there, please just include that information in your submission so the panelists can fully understand that attachment detail.
Tilly, you're up.
Okay. I did have one question. Are y'all able to hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, awesome. And I know there's been a lot of question around the specific date of the finished pieces, but I did want to ask for clarification. If there was a piece that hit all of the requirements for framing and archival protection, but it is dated past 2025, would it still be considered, or are you doing a hard deadline for that 2025?
It's so sorry. I know, but for the next one, it'll be your time to shine. Unfortunately, for this opportunity, December 31st is the hard deadline.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Carlin, thank you, Tilly. Carlin, you're up.
Great, thank you. So for sculptural work, can you do multi pieces that are like installed, like site specific installed on the back wall? And also, is there a weight, like what is the back wall created with? Like can something heavy be installed on that wall?
Not on the, we don't have plywood back. Normally on a wall that holds heavy work that we put plywood backing behind it. This wall is not that. In this case, we have a picture hanging rail that goes across the top that will have the wires coming down to hold the work, and that way we can put in multiple pieces and switch them out as we need them. So I would probably say that's not the best piece for this particular call.
Got it.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Anything site specific, unfortunately, I don't think would be eligible. It is portable work and existing artwork, and so site specific kind of falls into more of a commission sort of situation.
But as Allison said earlier, HAA has lots of art calls, and a lot of the calls are for site specific work, which will give you an opportunity.
Yeah. Melanie, I see your hand raised.
Yeah,
Yes.
I want to be clear about, at one point, I thought we were supposed to put D-rings with wire, but you don't want the wire,
No wire for this opportunity, just the
but I can put,
D-rings.
put the D-rings.
Yes.
Okay.
And just for clarification, again, there is no limitation on when the artwork could have been completed as long as it is completed by 12/31/2025. If the piece was completed back in 1989, that would be eligible. If the piece was completed in 1862, you're a time
It's still
traveler,
eligible.
but it's still eligible because it's completed by December 31st, 2025.
And if it was completed in 1832 by a Texas-based artist.
That part, yes.
Also, I just had a question. Sorry, I just joined in pretty late. Is there a theme to the artwork?
The overall theme is to respond to space cities, celestial designs, and themes of Houston, whatever Houston culture means to you and how that's represented in your artwork. We do want to see that. For questions about theme and additional images of the site, you can find that information on the website. If you go to haatx.com or houstonartsalliance.com, in public art, you'll be able to see more information about this opportunity as well as on Submittable.
Yes, I just dropped several times. I dropped the link to the submittable in the chat as well as our email address that you can reach out. We do ask that if you have any questions after today that you submit them into us by Friday, May 22nd. Any questions submitted afterwards may or may not be answered. Any additional questions? Or we're coming up on 5 minutes till.
Thank you all for your questions. We're here to help you. If you have anything that comes up during your submission, please reach out. We will be looking at them as they come in as best we can. We don't want you to be marked ineligible. So again, I'll just state this at the end. You can submit up to 3 works of art by 1 artist. There needs to be 3 individual submissions. Each submission has images of 1 artwork. No multiple artworks on 1 submission. We will mark it ineligible. So please, please, please make sure you read carefully the submission requirements, include your images, all of your information, and we're here to help you if anything comes up. So please don't hesitate to reach out.
Yes, so 3 separate applications. That's what we're looking for if you are going to be submitting 3 separate artworks.
And if you submit more than 3, unfortunately, only the first 3 will be marked eligible. So just one more note there.
And it's worth reminding that these open calls for portable works is where we purchase the greatest volume of artwork for the airport or for any of the city projects. So I really encourage you all to submit because you have your best opportunity to get in the collection through these open calls for portable works because we do buy so many, and 215,000 is a pretty generous amount of money to buy, hopefully a number of pieces.
All right, last call for questions and then we'll close. That's it. Oh, Wilson.
So I'm trying to understand. The artwork had to be done by last year, by 2025,
Yes.
or could we still
Yes.
do it?
The artwork cutoff is December 31st, 2025. That way we ensure that all of the artwork is ready for installation. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and, I see one more question in the chat.
Oh, we have one more question, and I think this is a good one. Can I apply individually, and if I have gallery representation in Texas, could they apply for me as well?
No.
Yes, but it has to be, I say yes, but it has to be different artworks. If your gallery is submitting the same artwork that you are submitting, we will reach out and defer to whichever submission is preferable, or one will be marked ineligible, but it has to be different artworks.
And more than three? That sounds like gaming the system, Allison.
I understand that artists might not have all of their artwork represented by a gallery for whatever reason, and so
they want to submit some that's outside of the gallery. Okay, that makes sense. I buy that. Okay.
All right, we're going to wrap this up. Oh, if we're chosen for this call, are we eligible for future calls? And after
we
this,
will
guys,
let you
that's the last
know.
question.
It changes depending on each opportunity. Eligibility is based on the opportunity, and so we'll cross that bridge when we get to it.
But you're not eligible when you're definitely not eligible is when you're under a contract. So if you're under a contract for this call and a new call comes out, you're not eligible, right, Allison, until this contract is completed.
If you're under contract with HAA for a civic art project, then you are not eligible for any future or any current opportunities.
All right, we're going to wrap up questions, y'all. If you have any other questions, please feel free to submit them at civicart@haatx.com by Friday, and we'll get to them as soon as possible.
Yes, thank you, everyone. Have a good evening.